Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, August 26th. I just want to know, like, how much do you value your body? How much do you value your safety, your health, when it comes to like doing things like like a dangerous sport, like football is like super dangerous, right? Like you want to take into consideration your health, and if you have like a kid playing football, your son's health, or how are they going to be able to live their lives if they get injured, whether it be like a broken bone, whether it be like your arm, your leg, and your maybe even something worse, like a broken a concussion, brain damage, if that's even a thing. I usually try to stay super, cautious about anything that's going to make me have pain, be in pain, and within danger of pain, within a threat of being hurt, and in a threat of being like, life-changing surgery. I'm always kind of skeptical about that, and I'm always kind of afraid of doing anything that's too ridiculous. And now, not just sports, though, but also like an internet challenge that's been happening in this day and age for the past couple weeks. That's been catching my, it's been out everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. You can just find it anywhere, YouTube and all that too. It's called the Milk Crate Challenge. And what you do is like you just stack like a bunch of like crates of milk, I guess. And it's like you start off pretty low with one crate, then you move on to 2, 3, 4, all the way to the top of like, which is in the middle of the like the tower thing. Then you go all the way back down. It's like almost going like a flight of stairs, right? You go up the stairs one way, and then once you hit the top, you go back down. But in this whole thing is like these crates are not stable the higher you go up. So everybody that I've seen, like a lot of videos, the majority of them are people falling and, looking like they get seriously hurt. And it's just like, why on earth do they think that they can do this? Some people can complete it. Others just fail miserably every time, and it's just like, bro, you've seen like the outcome, and you've seen like how people like can get seriously hurt. Why would you want to try that? Like, what would make you want to be like, oh, I could do that? I guess it's like your sense of pride, and you think that you can do it, and like nobody else can. But bro, even with like, I believe that I could honestly do it if I tried, but I'm still not gonna try because there's always that slight chance that I'm gonna fail and just crack my head open. And I gotta tell you, man, the videos of the people falling, I enjoy watching them fail. Like, is that weird? Is that like crazy? But it's funny though. It's because it's not happening to me, and you get to see somebody else fall, and like sometimes they'll be fine, they'll get up and it'll just be like hurting a bit, but you've seen like other videos of people, like I saw a video like yesterday of that milk crate challenge, and the dude landed so awkwardly on his arm, and it just snapped. Like it was just not in the right place, not in the right, angle. You can tell it was just, like twisted and broken. There was a bone sticking out. It was unbelievable. And I'm like, bro, like you could have easily not have had that happen to you if you just didn't do this challenge. Like it's just so simple. You just don't got to do it. Just avoid it. And I think that but it's also funny because so many people do it, and it just shows you that people in pain is what we like to see on the internet, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it may be, your platform, TikTok. That's just something that is always going to sell, and it's always going to be funny, and it's always going to make people laugh, and it's just going to spread like wildfire because, first of all, everybody's going to start doing it because they think that they can do it, and then it's just going to backfire on you, and then just be like, oh, look at all these people failing, because you can go on YouTube right now and look up Milk Crate Challenge fails and just see like a ton of videos of people just getting injured, getting seriously hurt, some people brushing it off, some people actually making it to the top and all the way back down in one piece. But those are cool, but they're not as fun as people actually like eating shit. Like those videos when they fall and just crack their head, or not necessarily their head, but their arm, their leg, or their back. Oh my god, I see some really gnarly falls, but they get up and they're fine. But I haven't seen like anybody get like seriously injured apart from that guy breaking his arm and his bones sticking out. But I hope it stays. Like I really do, because like it's been like a week or like a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks since it started, but it's just like it brightens my day when I see that, and it kind of harkens back to the days where you would watch, like, as a, when I was younger back in high school, with a buddy of mine, we would watch Fail Army, and it was just like the same, basically like the same thing, but just other things, like people jumping off of like their roofs, or like swinging on a rope, or like doing a skateboarding trick, and they all fail, they all get injured, they all get hurt. Nothing too graphical, but like you can tell, like with their reaction, like whether they yell, they scream, or they grunt, it's like, oh boy, that hurt. Like that looked like it really, really hurt. But it's fun though. It's just like a cycle of that internet craze of people getting hurt. Like there's just something about it that drives me to want to watch it even more. Like, you know what I mean? And also, like, I also enjoy like people getting people throwing up too. Like there's like a video of people, like, you can look up videos on YouTube of people like making their friends vomit by either like pretending that they're gonna throw up, because some of those people have that, that instinct or that reaction to, like, if they see somebody throw up, that they're gonna throw up. And it's just so funny because, like, I've never been the person to see somebody throw up, like, on, next to me, beside me, behind me, whatever, and then just immediately want to throw up, like, ever. So when I see that happen with other people, it's just like, oh my god, this is hilarious, because I can't do that. Like, I've never like had that, response to people vomiting or puking because they did puke. Like, that's just never been a thing of me. And I just feel like it's funny, and it's just pure basic innocent comedy. Like, there's no like offensive like joke or whatever. It's just physical comedy, and it's just like, sometimes that can be, we can go for like weeks, months, years with a drought of like that type of comedy, and whenever it comes back, whenever it's a challenge or just a bunch of videos, or one person trying to do one thing, when it comes back and then sparking like a challenge or like something to happen, whenever that comes back, it's like almost to me like, oh yes, we're getting back to the basics of what makes us laugh. People getting hurt makes other people laugh. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. It's just like back in the day when you would slip on a banana peel and then you would laugh about that. It's just funny. It's just really basic, but also like bread and butter comedy. There's nothing better. There's like nothing better than that. It's just like, it's like almost better than like any joke you can tell, because without a doubt, if you see somebody fall and get hurt, like, I would say like 90% of the chance that people will laugh, or rather you tell a good joke, because there's also going to be some people that, like, I think more people would find like a joke unfunny than a funny fall unfunny, if that makes any sense to you. I just feel like, everybody can relate to that, because everybody's like been in pain before. Everybody's kind of taken a stumble or a fall that they like, oh, that hurts so bad, and everybody was laughing at me. But like, it's almost like when it's like how some people find like get people getting kicked in the nuts also funny. Like, that's not funny at all. Like, that's a really bad thing to do. That's like, it's traumatizing, and it hurts like hell. Like, it's really, really painful. But I feel like, because we know how it's going to feel, and we know that it's going to be like painful to the other person, that's why you do it, and that's why you get a kick out of it, to make people laugh and to make you laugh. And it's a never-ending cycle, really. It just keeps on happening. And I also feel like, this one too is just like, it's the milk crate challenge. It is really a challenge. Like, it's a giant task. Can you really make it up this flight of stairs of crates and then make it back down this, escalating tower of crates, and just make it back down? Because when you see people do it, it's pretty, awesome. It's pretty cool. But it doesn't beat when they fall and just break their arm. It is just beyond funny. Beyond funny. I don't know why. It is. And if you haven't seen them, by the way, where have you been? Because they've been literally everywhere. Like, I've been just seeing them all day, all night. People just not showing me, but I'm just seeing like retweets and like posts and all that. And it's just like, give me more, please. We need more dumb people who don't give a shit about their body to keep doing these things, because that's what makes everybody happy. That's what makes the world go around. That's what makes social media a really entertaining platform, because we want to see these things all the time. We don't want to see all this new a bunch of like Debbie Downer stuff like about news and all that. We want to see this. This is why social media was made, so you can post idiot shit like this and just get likes and views and retweets and all that and shares. I just want to see that. That's what it's really all about. I think that, and it's a good thing. It's a healing process. It's a nice dose of the internet. It just, with all the bad in the world and with all the dumb shit in the world and with all the people that just want to make people mad in the world and just make people's days bad, like, this is a good thing. This is something that you should be cherishing, and you should be wanting more of this, because it really does, for me, brighten my day. It really does. And I don't, like, if you think that's, like, unethical or that's cruel of me to like people falling and getting hurt, well, I'm sorry, but that's just what it takes for me to laugh. Now, I'm not saying get it seriously injured, but like hurt a little bit, a broken bone maybe, but not be like not dying. I mean, calm down. I'm not saying like I want to watch people die. No, that's not it. I just want to see. I like seeing people get hurt, and in this context, it is also like, are they gonna make it? Are they not? Oh, he's not gonna make it. Oh, he might. And then boom, he's like on the ground screaming in pain, and it's just like it's funny. It's just funny. We're gonna leave it at that. Just like, don't think about it too seriously. Don't think about it as, oh, you shouldn't be laughing at someone else's pain. But bro, people laugh at everybody's pain all the time. People enjoy laughing at pain, especially when it's not their pain. If it's somebody else's pain, they're going to be laughing about it all night long. It's just a thing. I mean, like, it doesn't even have to be physical pain. It could be like losing a debate or losing like in a video game. People will laugh at your pain and your suffering. Not like saying like you're like on your deathbed. No, not like that, but like small increments of pain. Like, I scraped my knee, I fell off my bike. You're going to get laughed at. You just are. Like, people are going to laugh at you and say, like, you fell off your bike, or I saw you like fall off the trampoline, you idiot, like that. It's just like, that's how it is. People enjoy laughing at pain, and it's always been a thing in humankind, human history. That's just how it's always been, and it's never going to change, because we still have that stupid primal instinct and that primal mentality of watching people get hurt and laughing about it. It's just never going to go away. Why do you think that fucking whenever an ape falls out of a tree, the other ape is like laughing and chuckling and like having a good time and smiling? That's the same shit that we get when we watch somebody do this milk crate challenge. It's the same exact thing. So it's like, oh, people just want to also tell you what is okay and what is not okay to laugh at. And that is just not okay. That's not fun. That's not cool. It's just annoying at times. It's almost like, you see the comments on these Twitter threads and all that about the milk crate challenge. Like, oh, look at all these people laughing and pointing and laughing. Like, bro, you probably do the exact same thing. You're just not showing it. You're just being that person also to want to be that one little comment or one little person saying like, we need to be better. We need to be not as encouraging of violence and not violence, but not as encouraging of watching people fall and fail and laugh at them. But it's like impossible for you to look at those and not just get a little bit of a chuckle or anything. It's like, really, I mean, like, again, these guys are looking like absolute idiots walking up these milk crates. Like, they can't even balance themselves right, and they just fall under them. It's just absolutely funny. Whatever it is, like, it's like more funnier than anything that I think I've seen on the internet. Like, you can be on a skateboard, right, trying to go on a rail and then missing the rail and hitting your nuts and then falling. Sure, that's also really funny. But I think the whole thing about them going up the milk crates, wobbling, trying to keep their balance, trying not to fall, and then ultimately they fall and then they get hurt, they're in pain. That's what it's like a great ensemble of what we like to laugh at. We also like to laugh at people like not in control of their fucking situation, and when you're like losing your balance and like losing like oh like that, it's just funny. It's a great ensemble of humility and comedy and laughter and just having fun, man. That's all what it's all about. I mean, it does say, when you think about it too much, yeah, it doesn't sound that good. But when you just watch the videos and you're just in for it for the laughs, and it just, it's like a 10-second video, you see it, you move on, and then that's it. And then it's like, why are you going to question me of what I laughed about this day at 4:26 p.m. for 10 seconds, and I moved on to something else? Like, what do you care about that? Why do you care about that? It's just insane. Like, people just want to control what is and what isn't funny. Like, don't tell me what to think, man. We're all different. Like, yeah, we're all human. We're all people. We all, think similar like this, but we all also have different things that we find funny and different things that we like. Like, you might like Harry Potter, I might like Star Wars or something else, and then that's completely fine. Like, we're on the same page with that. Like, you can like one thing, I can like another. But if I find something funny, then you don't, you gotta let me hear about it. Like, it's just that whole mentality of where we're at as a society right now. It's like, if I have an opinion about something, and let's say like I don't like the way a video game plays, right? Or I don't care about a certain game that people like, right? And I'll say like I enjoy it's cool, but it's not my type of game. It's just not. Some people that I talk to that will, I will, converse with, will take that to heart and be like, I'm stupid. Like, I think I used to do something like that, but something switched in my mind, and I was just like, you know what? I don't know if I want to keep doing that. I don't know if I want to, because at a certain point, you're just like, if I don't like it, I'm going to just say that I don't like it, right? But I'll say that I don't like it, and that's not my thing. But I'm not going to be like, with everything, like, oh, you're going to go play that, you're going to go watch that. Like, I used to do that a lot. And I think about that a lot, like, every time when I want to, like, say something like, oh, you like that game or you watch that show or something like that. I want to lash out, but I recently have been trying to suppress that, because I find that to be, annoying and like almost like, saying what they can and can't do. It's like, that's just not me. I don't want to be that person anymore. I mean, I used to be that, and I was like, oh, this is kind of stupid. Why are you liking this? But it's like, yeah, I got to calm down with that. I just got to stop with that. It's not doing anybody any good. It's not doing me any good. I get a little bit of a nice feeling out for that one 5-minute period or whatever, and then it's gone, So I just like kind of like, all right, you like what you like. Yeah, I like what I like. Like, for instance, I was talking to my brother, like last night we were playing Halo, the Master Chief Collection, and we were talking about how I am kind of, I enjoy Halo Master Chief Collection as the video games are. Like, I enjoy the Halo gameplay, like for all the Halos, basically. 1, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, 4, fuck 5, but that's just me. I don't like 5 that much. I'll play it if somebody wants to play it, but I don't typically enjoy the gameplay. But I also, like, I'm not a big fan of how MCC, the Master Chief Collection, put in like these new battle passes for like the older games that first of all came out like a long time ago, right? Like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like when 343 Industries was going to do that, I just felt like, I mean, okay, first of all, these aren't like really your games, right? You didn't make these games. You made 4, but the 4 and 5, but Bungie made those games, right? So you're just going to add on to, and I know that they're your games now, right? They're no longer like under Bungie's thing, I guess. You own them. You put them out now. So like that's completely fair. Totally fair. I'm okay with that. But I feel like when you just add like battle passes and add armor and add stuff to it, to an already existing game that I played a ton of when it was on the Xbox 360, right? I played a lot of it. I just feel like it, in a way, it just is just a lazy, like, let's just give them something to play. I know these are older games, and yeah, don't get me wrong, I love them and they're classics, but I also just want a new Halo game. That's kind of like where I'm at with like the MCC and all that. And I understand, like, people love battle passes. My brother absolutely loves battle passes. He loves a grind, the incentive to play those games, getting armor, getting, title cards, getting emblems, getting skins for guns. He loves all that, and I don't blame him. Like, I've had fun with battle passes and Call of Duty and other games, specifically Call of Duty and Battlefield at certain points with Battlefield 5, but also, Battlefield 5 kind of wrecked its own ship in a way, and I just got bored of it. Same with Call of Duty. Like, these past couple battle passes, I've just not really been into them. I think that, like, when I unlock them, I look at what I can unlock, and I'm just like, I don't want any of this stuff. Like, it just doesn't, it's not popping out, it's not that cool to me, it's not appealing, and I kind of fall off. So when I look at the Halo MCC things. They have like a ton of seasons. You can just go back and unlock whatever you want, basically, but you gotta do it in a progression way. So if you see like a cool item in the first little bracket of tiers, you have to unlock them in order to get to the one that you want. So you can't just go pick and choose. You got to do it in order. So like that's fine. Like I don't have any problem with that. But the thing is, like, nothing in those battle pass tiers, like armor pieces, whatever, really interest me. And like I just think it's because I've played the death out of those games like when I was a kid and as a teenager. So like I there's nothing that you can add to me that's going to make it feel like it's a new thing that I want to work for. It's just like I've played those games since I was a kid, and I played them a lot when I was a teenager, and I'm like, I don't need any more new armor pieces for Halo Reach. I just don't need it. And I mean, like, I was talking to my brother, like, he's like, oh, why do you play it? Like, I play it for the gameplay. Like, I enjoy Halo's gameplay and how Halo plays so much. I just keep playing it. I don't need to have a battle pass to make me play the game. And for some people, that is like a big like red flag. Some people will just hate on me for that. It's like, it's kind of or not hate on me, but like critique me like I need it's almost like they need a battle pass nowadays. Where I guess I'm just more of an old school gamer. I don't really need it. Like, to be honest with you, like, I don't even want to unlock any armor in that game and put it on my Spartan. I just don't want to do it. Because for one thing, we mainly play Team Slayer, Team SWAT, whatever, all these team games, and they just give you colors like you can be like, red versus blue, but I just don't really see like I don't feel like my Spartan has like it doesn't have like a distinguishing look because you're either red or blue. Like, and I'm not saying that the pieces aren't going to be there. They are there. It's just like when everybody's red and blue, they just look like colors to me. Like, I don't see like the armor pieces really. I don't pay attention to that. I don't really see it on your own, your own Spartan unless you're customizing or you get killed and you see your body dead. Like, it's not enough for me to want to customize it. It's just weird. I don't know why that is, but it's just that's how I always thought of it. And but yeah, that kind of stemmed off of like what you enjoy in life and what other people enjoy, like, and like how I've been able to deal with it. Like, it's always kind of in a way like our own weakness. Like, it's even with shows like or TV. Like, you'll be watching one show. Like, if I was watching Game of Thrones and somebody was watching Breaking Bad, everybody's gonna come at each other and be like, "No, my show's better. Oh, you got to watch my show first. Oh, no, you watch my show." And that there's a joy in people saying my thing is better because they feel like they own it and that they discovered it. Either they discovered it or they watch more of it or they like it more than some other people or they talk about it more. They get this sense of ownership, which is kind of like what has happened with the opinions and all that. We find ownership in them and we take them to the heart, and we either we either like go with that opinion to the day we die. We die on that hill, or we just kind of let it like let the opinion change, let it cycle through, let us really think about like what we really like and how we like it, and how we should treat other people who might have a different view of like a show or a video game. And not everybody's got to be coming for the throat about every game that comes out. Like, especially now, like if you're talking about like what's going to be coming out, people still talk about Call of Duty versus Battlefield like it's back in 2011 times. Like, really, they do. And I did that too back when I was a kid. And slowly as I matured and as I got older, that kind of just withered away. I'm like, I can just buy both of these games. I can just buy both and play both. Like, I don't need to pick a side here. I can just play both and just enjoy both for what they are. But then you got so many people nowadays like, oh, Call of Duty's dead. Oh, Battlefield is dead. I'm not buying that because it's not what I wanted. But like, if you enjoy the game enough, like if you enjoy what they've done enough, and you want to keep continuing your experience with those games or what the next installment has, maybe you're just, then go for it. But I do see how some people and the video game climate, how they want certain eras of video game, especially first-person shooter games, to go to, like, or they don't want them to go that way. Like, I remember, like, people were like kind of like back when Cold War came out, I was on the side of like, okay, why would they go back to Cold War? They just went from modern to Cold War again. Like, you know that the gameplay is going to be changing a lot, and especially it's going to be like Treyarch again, not Infinity Ward. And, like, what's going to be happening? Like, how are people going to react to that? And at first, my friends were like, oh, it's a good game. It's fun. It's good. It's better than MW. And then slowly after, they started to drop off and not play the multiplayer anymore. And I don't know what it was. It could have been just because it was not like Modern Warfare, or they realized how much better Modern Warfare that game was, the multiplayer was, compared to Black Ops. And they just kind of, like, had to, like, be quiet and just, like, fall off. Because I remember saying, like, this game, like Modern Warfare, it feels, it runs, it plays better than Cold War ever did, than it ever did. And now I play Cold War because I don't want to be, like, in a cheater lobby, in a modded lobby, or just a bad connection lobby, because Modern Warfare is just in a really bad state right now. The game is just, it underperforms. It doesn't really work. The maps are kind of broken, and it's just in a really bad state right now. So, like, playing Modern Warfare's multiplayer at the moment is kind of out of the question. You can't really do it without running into a lot of problems. That's also happening with Cold War, so, like, we got to be careful. Well, the fucking developers, actually, they got to be careful, because, like, they are literally taking a crap on the people that play these games. Like, they're not even trying anymore. It's like, I agree that you can be in the boat, like, with Call of Duty being, like, you know, sketchy with their development, sketchy with their updates, fixing their games on it. I understand that. But it's like, it's not a good enough, like, I don't think it's, like, you can't just say, I'm going to go play Battlefield instead. Like, bro, you probably weren't even a Battlefield fan to begin with. You know, maybe not as, you know, big as you were with Call of Duty. Like, there's also, like, that too. I also got to remember, like, Call of Duty and Battlefield don't play like each other at all. And how, like, you can just turn the switch on because Battlefield's going to be in the near future timeline, you know, modern to near future, like with 2042, and then Call of Duty's going to go back to World War II. Like, it's just, like, I understand, like, if people wanted more, you know, modern time shooters, I get that, and I think that a lot of people would just want that now. But you also got to remember, like, Call of Duty's been doing this forever. You know, they started with World War II, made like 4 games off of that, 4 or 3. Then they went modern, then they went back to World War II, then they went modern again, then they went to the Cold War, and then near future, and then far future, and then, like, sort of modern, but a little bit futuristic, and future again, but not as future, and then back to modern, then back to the Cold War, and then, like, it's just been this cycle, and then back to World War II again with, you know, in 2016 or 2017. It's just been a never-ending cycle of this whole thing. It's just, and, like, it's like, what can they do, though? Like, honestly, if you think about it, like, what can a first-person shooter, where else could they go besides modern, Cold War, and World War II? Maybe World War I, but, like, they already did that with Battlefield. Are they going to do that again? Like, there's, like, almost like a never-ending, especially with, like, Call of Duty, that just does, like, you know, real life scenarios, really, and doesn't really, like, have, like, they don't really care about the stories all that much, or their campaigns. So they just put, like, they get, like, an era of what they're going to be in, and then they just kind of, you know, make their game around that. So I don't think that I think what's happening is, like, there's just so much of cycling and doing, like, redoing the things that we've already done, repeating history and all that, but it's just like, what else could they do, though? I have no idea what they could do. I really have no idea. It's also like they put out a game every year, so it feels like, oh, we're back to World War II again after, like, maybe 3 years. It's like, it's just, you're always going to feel that way. You're always going to be like, oh, we're doing this again. We're doing modern. We're doing Vietnam. We're doing World War II. It's like, yeah, bro. I mean, what else could they do? The near future, maybe. But everybody was like, that was, like, a big thing within, like, the mid-teens, like, 2015, 16, 17, maybe even 14. Like, that was, like, the main thing. It was the futuristic wall running, thruster packs, jumping, rolling, and all that. I mean, for me, that's when I stopped playing. That's when I stopped playing, because I just didn't want to play it. And I not like I didn't really like. I just didn't pay attention. I didn't want to play it. I was like, okay, this Call of Duty just isn't for me. That's fine. I just won't play it. And like other people did, they had fun with it. That's completely fine. But it just wasn't for me. But like what I'm saying is like you don't got to take these opinions to the grave. You can understand everybody's stance on a game, a movie, a show, how they feel about it. It's just going to be different than yours. Other people might feel the same way as you do, but it's just like you got to be able to accept why people play their games and why people play it for the fun of the game. They like the game and they enjoy the gameplay, and it gets their mind off things and they just have fun with it, playing with their friends, or they like enjoy the grind of a battle pass, of a grinding system of like unlocking things and all that. You just gotta be able to understand that there's different perspectives of why people play these games. And if you can do that, and if you can get it, like if you can see why that's happening, then you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine because you just can't take your opinions to the grave. It's not healthy. It really isn't. Like I feel like you can't take everything so seriously. You can't take video games and TV shows and movies that seriously, in my opinion. Like it's like, and again, if somebody disagrees with you, don't take it to like they're like threatening you or like just like, oh well, he doesn't like what I like. What the fuck, man? I was like, just relax. Like we like it for different reasons. We like it for different things. I still play Halo MCC because again, I enjoy the games. I enjoy the gameplay. I don't need a battle pass, and if I don't want, like, if I say that, like, it's just like, whoa, easy. Like, I don't need it. It's fine. I know how that's gonna be like how games are nowadays. Is a battle pass is like a incentive thing for you to keep playing. But like I get it. I understand. There's a lot of games out there, and if you think that a battle pass is gonna be like the driving force for you people to keep playing your game, and you want to implement that, that's completely fine. I have no problem with that. But if I'm going to play just to play the game, then don't hate on that. Don't be like, oh, well, you get with the times, man. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Like what you like. Enjoy what you enjoy. Don't take opinions so seriously, especially when it comes to entertainment, like what I've been talking about. Video games, like, we can't take these things that seriously. I mean, come on. It just kind of gets repetitive and redundant and just annoying at times. Like, really, really annoying. But we're going to move on. We're going to be talking about something that I thought that wouldn't necessarily happen, but it did, and it's actually, for me, kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Moving into the more of the movie section of this show today, we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. The first teaser trailer dropped during this week. I think it was Tuesday or Monday, whichever day it was. But I got to tell you, man, you know me, you know where I stand with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Not a big fan of it. And I'm not saying that if you like it, whatever, if you like it, cool. It's cool. That's fine. I don't care if you like him or dislike him. I enjoy parts of him. I think that he's a good actor. Tom Holland is a good actor. I just feel like his movies are kind of, weak in my opinion. Like, I just feel like they're weak. And we got the first trailer for, again, No Way Home, which when it first started, I was like, okay, this is interesting because everybody knows that. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't watched the other Spider-Mans and you care about this, I'm going to be talking about spoilers right now. So be aware, right now we're going to be talking about MCU spoilers at the moment. So right now, go. So everybody knows that he's Spider-Man because J. Jonah Jameson got a story at the end of the second movie, the second Tom Holland movie of him, like, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Everybody knows that he's Spider-Man, and he doesn't want to be known. He doesn't want to have the pressure of everybody knowing that he's Spider-Man. One, because of his friends, his family. It harkens back to the whole thing of the quote, the famous Uncle Ben quote. With great power comes great responsibility, and this has never happened before, really. Like in the other movies that we've seen of Spider-Man, not everybody in New York City knows who he is, so that's going to be a new thing. So, like, it starts off, and everybody knows that he's Spider-Man, and he wants to be rid of this. He doesn't want anybody to know about him being Spider-Man again. So he goes to the one guy that could possibly help him with that. Whether it be magic, time travel, whether it be some kind of cosmic thing, a spell. He goes to Doctor Strange, and he finds Doctor Strange in his, his mansion, his cave, whatever you want to call it, his lair, and he's like, "Can you fix this? Can you make it so nobody knows that I'm Spider-Man again? Like nobody in this planet?" And that he's like, "Yeah, I could do it." But then his, your boy Wong, his mentor or his like teacher for like some parts of like the first movie was like, "Doctor Strange, you can't do that spell. It's too risky." He's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm not going to do it then. We can't do it." Obviously he lies to Wong, and then they end up doing the spell in the trailer. And then it's like Peter Parker the entire time is like, "Well, I don't want Aunt May to not know that I'm not Spider-Man. Like, then just go tell her. I don't want MJ to not know. Well, then go tell her. I don't want Nate to not know. Well, then do the spell, then go tell them." Pretty simple, Parker. So we're getting a little bit more of like, okay, Spider-Man is still a child here. Like, I get it. Like, he's been in, 4 movies now. He's been in, maybe, no, actually 5 or 6 now. He's been in Infinity War. He's been in Endgame. He's been in Civil War. And then his other 2 movies, I believe, and that's it. So we're still getting, like, we still got kiddie, childlike Peter Parker. Like, we're not getting any maturity in him and all that. We're not getting really any, he still needs like a mentor. Still, it's weird. But yeah, so like he does a spell, he fucks it up. It brings back these. It makes everything all fucking wonky, and like cities are being concaved into some warp, like wormhole or whatever. Things are bending reality, and he's got to be on a train, and he's doing like this. He makes multiple trains out of one train, and it's just like mind-bending shit. He's fighting people, and then all of a sudden, after a while, you get this big thump and this thud and this explosion, and what pops out is Green Goblin's grenade from the very first Spider-Man, right? Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Remember that grenade that he throws at the people, and then they turn into absolute corpses? I mean, skulls? Like, what happened to them? Like, they went to another dimension. They went to the underworld, essentially. Like, that. If you go back and watch that movie, and you see that part when he throws the grenade, and then it just rolls, and then stops, and then beep, 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 and then goes off, it just turns everybody to their skulls. Their flesh is gone, their heart is gone, their organs are gone. It's just bones. So it's like, what the fuck was that? And then you see that grenade, in the trailer, bounce around, a little bit of a laughing of Green Goblin, and then you see the tentacle come out, the mechanical tentacle of Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock, played by the great Alfred Molina. Then he utters the only 2 words that you would ever want to hear him say, "Hello, Peter." And then the trailer cuts off, and then it says Spider-Man No Way Home, December 17th. I believe that was the date. Maybe it's December 17th, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, what a big reveal. I was actually excited for that because, I want to see the movie. I really do, because of what potentially could be happening. I know that that what they showed is probably not even close to what's going to be fully in the movie. Like, there's, again, it is just a teaser trailer. But like that whole Doc Ock thing, Green Goblin's grenade, I was like, oh boy, I am so in on this. I want to see this so bad. I'm in. Get me in the theater. I want to watch this right now. Because I listen, I have gripes about this Spider-Man, this Peter Parker, this whole handling of his maturity, and like it just feels like to me Doctor Strange is just going to be another, another crutch of his, like just how Tony Stark was in the first movie, and then he wasn't there in the second movie, and he kind of had Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio kind of play that role in a fucking big old fucking, jokey way. Not even a joke, just a fraud way. Just trying to get him to fucking give him his technology and all that. And then you see that, and it's just like, okay, well, I mean, how much longer can we go with this whole thing of Spider-Man needing a mentor? Like, really? Like, it's just, does this guy ever learn? Are we just going to be stuck with this whole high school kiddie thing? I don't even know if they're still in high school in this new movie. They could be. Who knows? I'm not sure. But it's just like, come on, man. Let's just get it going. Does he really need another mentor? Do we really need him to be mentored and taught more things? Can he just do it for himself? I know it kind of sounds like I'm being childish with this opinion and this take, but it's just like we had 2 other movies, and even Infinity War and Endgame, where he was just kind of like the young kid again. It's like, bro, let's make Spider-Man, the real deal here. Make him a leader. Make him not a kid. Let's go, bro. Come on. Anyway, like, I also feel like in this movie, potentially, that it could just be for the one movie. Like, what if you bring everybody back? You bring in, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Electro, the Lizard, um, who else? Rhino. And then you bring back Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and you bring back Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Like, is that going to be in for the rest of the MCU, or is it just going to be here for this movie? Like, it's very tricky because I've heard things and I've seen photos of like Tobey Maguire on set and everybody on set and like set pictures that have leaked. And to be fair, even this last trailer that just came out also got leaked the day before. So, like, we got to be careful with this. People are, working for Marvel Studios or working for Disney that are maybe just, like, out for revenge and leaking these things. So we just got to be careful. Maybe Disney found them and executed them. I'm just joking. That's not what happened. But, like, maybe they like, okay, bro, you're fired because you leaked our trailer. Like, that could be, a very good possibility of what happened. But again, like, I want more from this version of Spider-Man. I'm tired of him just being the backseat sidekick. It just like he gets his own movies, but he just still feels like he's incapable of doing his job. Like, I was just watching the first Tom Holland Spider-Man in the living room. It was playing on TV, and I was watching parts of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, like he's still like he's just a kid, and that's fine in the first movie, like in Homecoming, because again it is like when he's at his youngest. And he's just like trying to get used to his powers and all that. And he has, Iron Man's in the movie. Got Tony Stark mentoring him. He's got to fight the Vulture and all that. But it's just like, and then it's like he gets played his ass off when, in Far From Home by Jake Gyllenhaal. And it's just like, is he ever gonna do anything himself? Again, that could just be my thing. It could be a nitpick. Maybe you've noticed it a couple times, maybe. But I just, from this trailer alone, I just feel like we're going to get another repeat of like his whole, he needs somebody to help him out because he's still just a young kid, and it's just like, all right, man, let's hurry it up then. Like, maybe we're going to get another Spider-Man trilogy after this third movie where he's actually like a big dog. Like, he's actually like part of the Avengers. He already is, but he's like a captain or a leader of the Avengers, and not be such a ball and chain almost. Like, people just gotta watch over him, like make sure he doesn't get hurt, make sure the kid's okay, make sure he's fine. It's like, he's like one of the stronger Avengers you have. Like, he's stronger than Captain America and Black Panther, and maybe not, obviously not Hulk, but even Iron Man. He's stronger than Iron Man potentially. It's like, bro, come on, let's go. I mean, and I get he's no Thor, right? He's no Doctor Strange, but still, like, I don't know. Like, we'll see about that. Also, I get feels, and I get a little bit of a vibe that Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be the new Tony Stark figure. That makes sense, because in that trailer, he was like acting like all cool. He had his, puffy jacket with it strapped to it was his cape. Like, he didn't need to have that. Like, he just made that. Like, it was almost like a to me, it's like a snowy version of his costume. Like, it's like another version of one of Iron Man's suits. It's like another version of, how to keep him, with his, technology or whatever that makes him, Iron Man. Like, he like needs that cape to make him, not to make him, but it's a big aid to him to being Doctor Strange in that character. So it's like when he had like his jacket on, and then he had that cape on his jacket like sewed on. I was like, oh, it was kind of like another, like a spin-off on his suit. Like, he always needs that cape on. I don't know. That's just what I felt with it. But, I'm still excited. Don't think that, my nitpicks are going to be like the downfall of this movie. No, like, I still want to see how they can pull off the multiverse and how that's all going to work out. The movie looks like it's got incredible visuals, like just awesome visuals. And I really want to see it. I also want to see how they, throw in the other characters from the other Spider-Verses. Like, how are they going to do that? How is this going to work? Like, it almost feels like it's going to be like a live-action attempt of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Because I love that movie. That movie was so good when it came out, and I just want to see if it can continue that. If it can like make it even, I wouldn't say it would be better, because that movie was pretty much perfect in my eyes. But I just want to see if it's gonna even come close. At least I think it will, because the nostalgic part with adding Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield into it. But like, I just still, I want to know, like, is it just going to be for this movie? Are they going to be around longer? I would honestly doubt it, because I feel like those guys are still going to be, like, they don't want to be tied down to these Marvel contracts and just having to do superhero flicks again. I feel like they would want to do a lot more, because, again, they've already done 3 of, Garfield did 2. Maguire did 3 of their own superhero movies. Like, I just feel like that they wouldn't want to keep doing them. I don't know. That's just me though. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready. I just want to see if it's because again, I have like no idea with with the first teaser trailer how it's gonna go down, how it's gonna plot out. I have no idea. So like it's good for me because I'm pretty much going into it blind, and I'm gonna see for myself firsthand like how it's gonna happen, what's gonna happen to the characters and all that. I'm like, again, that Doc Ock reveal at the end was pretty much on par, if not better than the reveal for Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer. Like, it was like on par with that. Like, they knew that they had to put that in there to make people like, oh yeah, well, I'll be there for sure, or I'm gonna see that for sure. Like, that was like the big reveal that everybody wanted, because that was rumored, and even he said like he was gonna be in it too. But not everything was official. But that reveal itself was just like monumental. People were losing their minds. I mean, I was like, oh shit, he's back. Clearly they were using like fucking de-aging technology, but like he still looked great. He looked awesome, and I can't wait to see it. Another thing that I kind of like, I want to see that. I really, really, really do. Even though I might have some critiques and concerns about it, I still really want to see it. I really do. Like, there's people will say like I hate everything. I don't. I don't want to hate everything. I really, really don't. It just seems like it always goes down that path, and I don't want it to either. But it just happens. But however, we are transitioning. This is no longer going to be movies. This is going to be sports now. We're into the sports section, and I think that for me, as a longtime NFL viewer and watcher of the NFL, being a Rams fan, knowing the game pretty much inside out, playing fantasy this year, which I'm excited for. I've been watching a lot more preseason lately, and I wanted to watch, in particular, this past week on Monday night, I wanted to watch the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the New Orleans Saints, and I wanted to see because there's going to be both teams have a quarterback matchup, competition to be the starting quarterback. And in my opinion, if you go to the Saints side, Jameis Winston just beats Taysom Hill. He just beats him. He's better. He's stronger. He makes quicker decisions. He clearly has a better arm, and he just knows the position a lot better than Taysom. And I think that if people are going to be walking around and talking about this, I think that the majority of people who are on ESPN or whatever, or Twitter, will pretty much agree with you that everybody thinks that Jameis Winston should be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. And I think that it's pretty much a no-brainer. But Sean Payton, for some reason, just doesn't want to admit it, that he's going to be the starter, because he just wants to make it a debate. Maybe make it all about himself, maybe in a way, but make it about that situation. Like, people are going to be like overthinking it, but like he's going to be like, no, I'm the coach. I know more about it than you do. Even though you see him in gameplay, you see him in practices, I know more about them than you, which is, to be fair, true. He does know them more than we do. But also, we're not idiots, Sean. We watch the games. I watch the games. I see the plays. I see pretty much, like last game I saw like every snap. I was like, Jameis should be the starter. He's making amazing throws. He made 2 pinpoint accurate passes for touchdowns. Like, great. Like little margin of error, putting it right in the right position for the ball to be caught. And I was just like, wow, he's the starter. Like, he's throwing deep balls, throwing accurate passes, quick passes, the right decisions. And it's just like, this guy's got to be starting. Like, this could be a new breath of life for Jameis Winston. Like, this could be what he needed. And then you get Taysom Hill just like struggling a little bit. Yeah, he did have a touchdown pass, but he was kind of holding on to the ball for a bit too long. Got sacked a couple times. He made a couple good plays. I'll give him that for sure. But also, like, I've been watching Taysom Hill for like 3 or 4 years now with the Saints. He does what he does as being like an offensive, like, surprising weapon and an option very, very well. In the times where like you wouldn't expect it, whether it be as quarterback or as tight end or even running back. Like, he's good at that. He's fantastic. He's also getting paid pretty well too. Like, actually really well, like maybe $10 million a year. So he's not like getting like gypped out. But it's like, he's just keep him for what he is. The option guy, the double threat, take a play off Drew, go in there for a bit, just like that. He doesn't got to be the starter. He's not capable of it. I mean, sure, you could say that last year when he was starting for Drew Brees when he was injured, like he went 3-1, but like, I mean, like that was last season. We're talking about this season now. And when you see him versus Jameis, it's just like, oh, Jameis is just way, way, way better. Way better. Like, I would want Jameis on my team. And he's fun. He's energetic. He's younger. Again, he's got a better arm. I see it. And for people to think that Taysom has a shot, that's fine. But I also feel like in the NFL, you also have a role to play as well. You can't just make people the starter because, you got a feeling about it. You know that he's a good quarterback, but does it fit the team, though? Like, I just feel like, Taysom Hill as an option or as a secret weapon is just a better option for their team, in general. You got Jameis as a quarterback, and then you can put Taysom in as a trick play or something like that, and just make it, win that way. Like, he's good at that. He's really good at that. And I just think that sooner or later he's going to be announced Jameis as the starting quarterback, and that's just going to be fun to watch again. Because, whether you thought he was bad or good in Tampa Bay, 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions in his 2018 season, he was really fun to watch. And imagine him being actually like really even better and good with a Sean Payton led offense. This is going to be awesome to watch, man. I cannot wait. I just hope that he's a starter. I think he will be, but who knows what Sean Payton's going to play or what he's going to try to do, make us think that, oh, we're right. I also think that, to give a little credit to Skip Bayless, he does. I feel like Sean Payton kind of does feel like he thinks that he's better and knows everything more than we do, which he probably does, but he likes to show it a lot more. And when he puts in Taysom Hill as a starting quarterback, he's like, oh, I know something that you guys don't. And then usually it never really pans out for him. So it's like, I don't think you did, bro. I think you're very high on your ego and what you know about football, but it's like, if you're not going to make Jameis Winston the starter, like a blatantly obvious starter, like it's just like, then what really do you know? How much more do you know than me? I would say like not that much, man. Sorry about that, bud. And then the other one was obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, if you don't know, have been kind of a team that is getting eyes on them because of who they've signed, who's their head coach, and Urban Meyer. If you don't know, Urban Meyer was a coach for the last couple years. He took last year off, but he coached Ohio State, and he won 3 national championships with 2 with Florida and 1 with Ohio State. And he's been a very, very good college coach. And this is going to be his first time in the NFL as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He drafted Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall pick in this previous draft, as a quarterback. And you would kind of think that with, Trevor Lawrence, fighting out for the position against Gardner Minshew and C.J. Beathard, that he would get it automatically, right? That he would be the number 1 pick. Obviously, he's better. He's taller. He's stronger, more accurate. His record in college is undoubtable. His previous coach, Dabo Swinney, is a great head coach. He was slinging the ball. He was throwing the ball. He was beating other teams. He beat Alabama. I believe, was it Alabama? I think no, maybe not. I think that was Deshaun. But he's beaten Ohio State many times. He's beaten all these big programs, and he's been solid at quarterback. But you would always think that he's got it, right? Like, Gardner Minshew doesn't got it. C.J. Beathard doesn't got it. They shouldn't be challenging. Now, yesterday he was named the starting quarterback, Wednesday, and he played his last game that he played on Monday was, in my opinion, not the best. He was, I believe, 13 for 24 with 113 yards. I could be wrong about that. I can't look it up because my internet is down at the moment, which is fucking bizarre. I don't know why. But but yeah, he didn't do that well, in my opinion. He had a lot of he was rushed a lot of the pocket. He got beat up a little bit. He kind of made a stupid run where he like ran into like 3 defenders, like almost getting hurt. He popped it right back up, but it's like, dude, what are you doing? That's such a rookie mistake. And I know you are a rookie, but like, don't run into these people. They're not college kids. They're fucking grown men. You got to be careful with that. And he made a couple good throws. He didn't have any touchdowns. Like, again, pretty mediocre as yards goes. Like, he just didn't look that good. And then he's named the starter on Wednesday after C.J. Beathard played and had more yards and 2 touchdowns, outplaying Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. And then Trevor Lawrence is named the starter? I just think that there's something going on here that we don't know, that Urban Meyer thinks that he's so smart. Like, first of all, like, him as a coach, you can just see him on the sidelines. He barely even speaks. Like, he's just... Like, for the whole time, he's like quiet, just looking at and putting his head down, making some dumb facial expression of his just disappointment. Not even really coaching anybody, just kind of like standing there looking at the play, like hoping that it's going to be like a good play. But I'm like sitting there like, bro, are you going to coach? Are you going to like communicate? Are you going to talk to your players? Like, what is going on here? Like, this isn't going to be like at Ohio State. You're not going to win like 12 games in your first year. You're going to lose a lot, buddy. This is the NFL here. This is not the college football game. This is the NFL. So I'm thinking, like, maybe it's Urban Meyer. Maybe he's out of his element. Maybe he's out of his league. Because the guy just looked like he was helpless. That he was clueless. He was just like, why is nobody making plays? Why is nobody catching the ball? Why is nobody blocking? Why is nobody running? It's like, you got to coach them, bro. I mean, this is you're supposed to coach your players. You're not even saying a word. So, like, and for him to come out to say that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the starting quarterback after that performance, I'm like, what did you see? Did you see that he was ready? I did not. Sure, he got more into the game as the game progressed because he played the first whole second half, which everybody was kind of like, well, he's going to play this long. I'm like, fuck yeah, he better. First of all, he started pretty bad and then got a little bit better, then got bad again. And he finished pretty strong, but again, no touchdowns, so that's not, to me, that's kind of a fail. And it's just like, we need to see more of him because, like, again, he was the number 1 pick. So it's just like, who made a mistake here? Who's fucking up? Is it Urban Meyer? Is it the Jaguars organization? Is it Trevor Lawrence? What's happening? Also, Travis Etienne is out for the season with a foot injury. So, like, Trevor Lawrence has already lost his teammate that he had some comfort with, coming into the season. So it's like, what's going to happen now? Is he going to be comfortable? Is he going to be, fine? Like, what's going to happen? I don't know. First of all, I don't think Urban Meyer knows either. Because, again, you see this guy, and I guarantee you, he just sits there, drops his head whenever nobody makes a pass, sighs, makes some disappointing face, but literally, like, wasn't saying much. Like, the camera was, like, barely on him. And when it was just, like, him, like, slouching and moping around and just like putting his hands up and making disappointing faces. Like, I don't know if this guy's cut out to coach an NFL team. I really don't. And I think that it just, in my opinion, it doesn't look good out there. He doesn't look like he's an NFL coach. Like, I can just, like, after like seeing him on that field, air quotes, coaching, I just didn't see it. And that could be because he's out of his element and that this is a little too big for him. And of course he's not going to admit it, but it's just like you can kind of tell by the body language that he might be a little bit over his head. And, it could turn around. He could get better. He could make it a good season. He can get the best out of Trevor Lawrence if he can. Also, like, that decision to make Trevor Lawrence the starting quarterback after his first like 2 preseason games was just, I mean, like, where do you see them like separating? How do you see Trevor Lawrence separating from Gardner Minshew and C.J. Beathard? I don't see it. Maybe it's because of the pressure. Maybe it's because they drafted him number 1 overall. It's like you kind of got to start him, like, knowing that your season last year was like 1-15. Like, maybe you got to start him because of that. But it's like, why would you put him in that situation? Because, like, the team is bad, like, really bad. You can just tell. One draft pick, like, in a Trevor Lawrence, is not going to make them, like, a god tier, good team. It's just not going to happen. So, like, it's almost like Urban Meyer might be setting up Trevor Lawrence to fail, potentially, if that makes any sense. It's almost like a Sam Darnold and the New York Jets situation. Like, I just feel like that might happen again. You got a coach that just never been in the NFL, and it just looks like he's dead on the sidelines, like he doesn't know what he's doing, and that he's just and everybody was talking about he's got a good staff of NFL coaches and NFL staff mates that have been in the league for a long time, but Urban Meyer is their leader. He's never been in the NFL before. So I have a lot of questions about Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence going forward. Like, was that the good decision? And I mean, honestly, if I'm going to say, I don't think so. I think this is going to be a disaster. This is going to be a bad season for both Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars organization. It's just going to be. I'd be surprised if they win. If they win 6 games, I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised because that means that they actually kind of got a rhythm going. When I watch them, I see no rhythm, especially with Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback. He just has no rhythm, no tempo, not much consistency. It's going to be rough, man. And I feel like the pressure was just on him to make him the starting quarterback because, again, he was the number 1 draft pick. Might have been drafted too high, man. Might have been drafted too high. But, who isn't really, like, looking bad, I guess I would say, is Mac Jones of the New England Patriots. If you don't know this, what's happening is that Cam Newton kind of got in a little bit of a situation with COVID-19. He went out of the state to see a doctor for something, and that was breaking their protocol. Like, you can't really do that if you're going to be practicing with us, if you're going to be in training camp. And Cam Newton, I believe, is unvaccinated, so that's also going to make him have to test every day. And so, like, he can't just come back to practice, right? He's got to be, like, quarantined a little bit, like a mini quarantine, just to make sure that he's not going to be, doesn't have COVID and getting everybody sick. So, and that's kind of opening the door for Mac Jones, who they drafted at number 15, I believe, the New England Patriots, to be their quarterback. And that, for what I'm hearing, for what I'm seeing, he's actually playing pretty good, like a lot better than he had in his previous games, and in practice as well. So, and even Belichick was like, this is opening the door for Mac Jones. Like, this is going to be an opportunity because he's now getting snaps that Cam Newton cannot get because of the restrictions and because he didn't follow the protocol. So, like, that's going to be a big thing. Like, what if this makes Mac Jones the starting quarterback, and how is that going to pan out? Like, how is that going to how's that going to work out? I feel like with Belichick also, having been the coach for the New England Patriots for so many years and being in the NFL for so many years, he's also going to know who's going to be the better fit for that team and who to start. Like, he's not going to pull, like, I guarantee you, like, if Cam Newton didn't get, like, injured or didn't get, like, with a protocol thing, if he didn't get, like, taken out of training camp for those reasons, that he would have started Cam Newton, and I would have too. I would have started Cam Newton for sure because he's more experienced. He's the NFL quarterback. He's been in the league for a long time, right? He knows these things. He also loves football still. He's still athletic. He can make throws, and he was actually looking pretty good. He was looking better, and he wasn't looking as shy as he used to be. But now that you take that out, you take Cam Newton out, it's leaving Mac Jones to get the more reps, getting more opportunities, and he's actually shining in these opportunities. So you just gotta be. I think it's really going to be, this is going to come down to Belichick's coaching ability and how good he is as a head coach, because if you see Cam Newton struggle, and if you see Mac Jones excel, and you always got to go with the hot hand. You always got to go when the iron's hot. In the NFL, you can't just let people, if they're in a slump, you can't really, let them, you got to give them time, but you also can't wait too long for them to get out of that slump, because that could cost you games, and that can cost you playoff positioning. You got to go with the hot hand. You got to go when the iron is hot. And if Mac Jones is the hot iron, you got to go with that. You just got to go with that because it's what's best for the team. right? This just isn't about the quarterback or one person. It's about the team. What makes the team better? And if Mac Jones actually makes the Patriots better than Cam Newton, then no doubt Belichick is going to put in Mac Jones over Cam Newton. It's just going to happen. And I feel like with how Mac Jones has been playing, which has actually been surprising me, how much he's playing better, because I mean he was always a good quarterback, but I think if you also get that Belichick coaching, that Josh McDaniels offensive coordinating, coaching and all that, the quarterback coaching and the mentoring and the Patriot way, and if you buy into it, it could do wonders for you. Like it could do wonders, and it shows you like those two quarterback, situations with Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. It just shows how much it depends on the coaches and who's in charge, who can see what players are developing better, who's playing better, and who fits the team better. And honestly, going back to Trevor Lawrence and C.J. Beathard just played better and was throwing touchdowns, and the offense worked better under him. Now, I know that's not going to be the sexy choice for the Jacksonville Jaguar fans. It's got to be Trevor Lawrence or bust, right? They gotta. That is their number one draft pick. That was their guy that they wanted, and they got him. So it's a tough situation there, and it's just going to come down to like the name on the back, the person playing is just. I am so glad that I'm not in that situation that I don't have to actually pick who starts and who's going to be the quarterback, because I don't think that I could be in that position to do that. It's just so much pressure, man. It's like, again, if you're the Jaguars and you have C.J. Beathard, Gardner Minshew, and Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback crop, who are you going to pick? I mean, you would hope to pick Trevor Lawrence. You would hope to pick that because, again, he's a rookie, the number one draft pick, and C.J. Beathard has been through the league for, average quarterback. He can make touchdown passes for sure. He can win you a game. But he doesn't have that it factor like Trevor Lawrence had when he was in college. Like everybody's like, Trevor Lawrence is one of the better prospects in the NFL since Andrew Luck. Everybody was saying that. Like I didn't really see that comparison. I thought Andrew Luck was way better. But to each his own. But yeah, I just think that this is going to show these two, camps and two training camps are going to show where the coaching experience and where the coaching, where all that comes into factor of how they can choose what players make the team better by who's going to be starting as quarterback. I really think that when Urban put Trevor as a starter, especially after that last game, really questionable. Really questionable. Like, honestly, like I didn't buy into it. I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. I can't see how he beat out Gardner Minshew and C.J. Beathard in those preseason games. And that's where it matters, really. Like, you can have a good day at practice, sure. But if you're not throwing any touchdowns in, like, an actual game, I get it, it's preseason. But it's still a touchdown against another team in the NFL. And it's not a practice. This is full pads, pretty much full speed, and he's throwing touchdowns, and Trevor Lawrence isn't. I wouldn't pick him. I just wouldn't do it. And in the case with New England, Mac is just going to be. I think that I really do think he might be the starter. I really do. Not to say anything bad about Cam Newton, but like this situation is really going to hurt him in his impression with Belichick, and if he really, how much does he care about playing football for the New England Patriots? I just think that, I don't know. Even though that he's been in the league forever and he's been established as a good quarterback, I get it, I see that. But it doesn't matter like how long you've been in the league. If you're still going to make these bad decisions, if you're still going to make these, and risk your starting position, then that goes on your responsibility. And you're not going to be babied just because you make money in the NFL. You're going to be expected to make the right decisions and make the right choices. That way you can have that opportunity to play on Sundays and play with the big boys and help your team win. And if Mac Jones is the guy that's doing that and that is beating you, well, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And that's just how it's going to go. Then Mac Jones will be the starter and Cam Newton might be the backup. And he might come back if Mac Jones, plays like shit and he the rookie tendencies come back and like he's just not performing well. Cam Newton could come back. Yeah, obviously, he should want the team to do well, no matter who is playing. And I know for a quarterback that's very hard to like buy into, like because the quarterback drives the team in football. He really does. It's not like basketball or baseball. Really, football is like the one sport where it really counts on one person's ability to lead the team and to put the ball into the right people's hands and to throw the ball when they need to throw it and hand it off when they need to hand it off. It's really the quarterback's game. It sucks, but that's just how the game is played. And especially today when everybody just makes, quarterbacks can just make pretty much any throw nowadays. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can make not Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance can pretty much make any throw. I mean, any quarterback can make any throw in the league, if that makes sense. Like, just because you're Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady doesn't mean that those other quarterbacks can't potentially make that throw. They just got to work hard at it to do it. They all have the potential to do it, but those guys just, they work harder, and they're gifted, maybe super talented, and they know how to do it. They put all their heart and soul into that position to do it. They enjoy it. So with that, I'm going to leave it at that. I thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this episode. Again, you can find all my podcasts and all the episodes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. One last thing before I go, though. This is going to be a little bit of a shake-up in this podcast. I've been not looking around, but I've been kind of watching from the sidelines of, I've been thinking about when do I want to change when I drop the episodes of the podcast. So I'm thinking what's going to be happening in the future. And if you stuck this long, I appreciate you and you're going to know about it. But if not, I will address it in other episodes in the future. But what's going to happen is I'm going to start to not upload, but have the episodes get released on Thursday mornings instead of Thursday nights. I feel like because I don't want to be recording now when there's going to be Thursday night football on, because I want to watch the games and try to, especially when football season is going on, I want to have a little bit of a more of an NFL portion of the podcast. That way I can kind of do a little bit of a longer deep dive into what's been happening across the league and what games have been going on and what teams are doing well and what teams are doing not well, how the Rams are doing and all that. I just want to have a little bit more of a grasp on and be able to watch the games instead of just because if I was going to be recording now, I'd be recording during the game. I wouldn't be able to really watch it. I'd be distracted. So what's going to happen in the future podcasts is I'm going to be releasing the podcast on Thursday mornings instead of Thursday nights. So you will be getting notified if you're subscribed to, whatever, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. It should be, if you turn on the notifications, you should be getting alerted whenever it drops. So I'm aiming for starting this not next week, but the week after that. So it's going to be happening starting, I would say, September 5th. Let me check the calendar real quick. I want to make sure about this. I think what's going to be happening is I'm going to start dropping the episodes on, earlier on September 9th. They're going to be coming out on Thursday mornings instead of Thursday nights. So just be on the lookout for that. I don't want to make anybody just drop them Thursday mornings. All of a sudden, I just wanted to get a little bit of that in this episode today before I sign off, that they will be changing. They will be coming out on Thursday mornings instead of Thursday nights. I'm aiming to put them out maybe around 6 o'clock in the morning. That way, it's also more of like a changing up to like a morning show. Like if you're going to work, if you're going to school, you can also, it'll be ready for you then, that we can just pop it in your car and just listen to it then. I feel like it's a better time slot for you to for a podcast, in my opinion. So I just wanted to see if that works out. I might go back on it. I might not. But I feel like right now, the morning slot's going to be what I want to put out the podcast. So thank you again for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys back next week.